Thank you, Tim. Simon. So our last speaker is Tim Fernando from the University of Oxford, talking about Mobile Oxford. Over to you, Tim.
Thanks, Andy. I'll say in advance this is utterly unrehearsed this morning, so apologies in advance. So we all know that mobile computing is expanding at a ridiculously fast rate. We all know that this is the future. We all know that we're experiencing this paradigm shift from desktop computing to mobile computing. We know that it's effectively the same as the desktop, the PC taking over from mainframes back in the 1980s. So the big thing I feel is particularly important about mobile computing is the fact that these devices are location and environmentally aware, and that's what makes it really exciting for me. And I think what a lot of us have failed to realize till recently is that as academic institutions, we have so much data about students, about what they do in their day-to-day lives, their clubs, their course information, etc. And this data is all waiting to be linked up. I'm kind of echoing Nick here. And by making this data available, we can do some really exciting things. So what I'm really going to talk to you about here is the first steps we've taken to doing this. And this has born out of another JISC project. It was called Project Error 1. It finished at the end of March. That was an 18-month project. And we were investigating two main areas, and that was demonstration mobile applications and being able to store an institution's geospatial information. So that is where a building is, where a department is, what the relationship between those two are, because quite often you can have many departments in a building. And as well as being able to do that, we decided that we wanted to be able to represent time. So that is to be able to say this was here from this date to this date and so on. So I have no idea what slide's coming next. Right, Molly. Molly is the open source product that we have created. This is probably our major product out of Error 1. And what this is an open source framework and to a certain extent a way of thinking. We designed it to work with every web-capable phone. So that's not just the iPhone, it's not just Android. We decided it needs to be accessible and inclusive. And because of that, we went down this route of using the web. So it's open source, as I said, it's under academic free license. And one of the big reasons we went down this route up there's no lock-in. We're not tied to a vendor. We don't have to worry about market forces. For example, if you wrote an iPhone app, you will have to update it when the next iPhone OS comes out. And you're going to have to pay money for that. If you're tied into a company, you have to pay them to update it. You have to pay a license fee. And these are quite often, these could be unforeseen costs unless contracts are very well negotiated. And because it's the web, we saw it as a very low-risk way of going. Whatever it is, if you deploy this today, it might not be perfect in 5 years' time. You could deploy it today and do absolutely nothing with it, and it would still be of some use in 5 years' time. So that was a lot of the thinking behind it. So we came up with m.ox.ac.uk, we call it Mobile Oxford. Our first partner, who I think is in the room somewhere, is Oxford Brookes University, who are also implementing it starting this week. And feel free to have a look right now if you like. And it provides a number of features. So you have things like maps. It handles all our geospatial data. It allows you to mix and match things. So, for example, right there, We have an HTML5 geopositioning request, so it's gone along and found my location and found me the nearest colleges to it. It's a trivial example, but you can do this with any point of interest. We connect to standards-based systems such as LDAP for contact searches. One of the big boons was connecting up to library search, which is based on the Z3950 protocol. Combined with our geospatial framework, allows us to do queries like where's the nearest library, or where's the nearest copy of a particular book. And this has particular implications for disabled students and staff for that matter. We've also connected up to things like our Google search appliance, so that provides quick and easy indexing. And as you can see, we're trying to keep everything based on the standards that are out there and providing little connectors which tie into this framework. So a couple of other examples, we tied into the Oxfordshire County Council's real-time bus information, so we have all that. You can find your nearest bus stop and the bus times from it, BBC local weather, a few webcams from around the university, and so on. So there's much more to come. It's still in its infancy. We really started in earnest about July last year, and our first release was October. And we hope that more people get involved, the better it becomes, the more it grows, and I hope to have a lot more in it soon. So just reiterating this point, we think it's a bad idea to go along the route of commissioning a company to provide, say, an iPhone app or an Android app, because you are going to have these unforeseen costs in the long term. And if you have a lot of money to spare, brilliant, go for it. But it's still not the de facto phone. In the US, in the past month, Android has overtaken. So there's a lot of market forces involved there, so I think everyone should keep that in mind. And that's just the information slide, so thanks.